Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councilman Ed Riesinger, Chairman of the Land Use Committee. I welcome you to the chambers, the council chambers. The one ground rule that I have is please turn off your cell phone or put it on mute to give respect and courtesy to those who are going to testify. Before we start with the bills, I just want to acknowledge to my far left is Councilman John Bullock. To his right is Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark. To my immediate left is the Vice Chair of the committee, Shannon Steed. To my far right is Councilman Eric Costello.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
To his left is Councilman Robert Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And to his left is Councilman Leon Pinkett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We are joined by President's office. No, that's the mayor's office. Okay. We're here for City Council Bill. Also to my right is Jennifer Coates, the staff person. How can I forget her? She's the rock. So, okay, we're here for City Council Bill 19-0415. This is zoning. It's conditional use conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to a two-dwelling unit in the R8 zoning district. Variances located at 1700 West Franklin Street. The purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to two dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 1700 West Franklin Street, Block 0121, Lot 069, as outlined in the red on the accompanying plat, and granting variances from certain bulk, which is lot area, and off-street parking regulations. The public notice requirements have been met, and at this time, Councilman Bullock, do you have anything you want to say about your bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we introduced this as well. It's a Harlem Park Urban Renewal Plan, as you will see in the documents. The applicant is someone who has done a few affordable housing pieces within the district, and given the need that we have for affordable housing, and also trying to make sure that these areas don't go vacant or blighted, it is something that we support and have gotten community support as well. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We're joined by Dominic McAvally from President Braden Scott's office. At this time, we will go on to the Planning Department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. At its regular meeting on August the 22nd of this year, the Planning Commission considered City Council Bill 19-0415, which would authorize the use of this property as two dwelling units in the in the R8 zoning district. The Planning Commission heard testimony from the staff and from members of the community and from the developer of this property, and recommends approval of the bill. The Planning Commission made very specific findings that the proposed use would not be detrimental to or endanger public health, safety, or welfare. It would not be precluded by any other law, including the applicable urban renewal plan. It would not be contrary to the public interest. It would be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the zoning code, and the conversion would meet all criteria for approval specified in Section 5-406B of the Zoning Code of Baltimore City. The Planning Commission also noted that because of its particular surroundings and the shape of the specific structure, there would be a practical difficulty which would result if the strict letter of the applicable zoning requirements were carried out, and therefore recommended that the bill be amended and approved by the council. The amendment that is proposed by the Planning Commission is that there be a variance of floor area standards for conversion of a single-family dwelling to a multifamily dwelling added to this bill. This particular property, as you can see from the picture that is being displayed, is a street corner property The Planning Commission felt that one of the factors that contributed to the uniqueness of this property and the need for variances was the fact that it was, in an otherwise all-residential block, a residential mixed-use property from 1940 onward, and therefore to reconvert it to all-residential use presented some unique challenges, shall we say, for the person who wishes to do this. The property does meet standards in the zoning code. However, the lot area requirement for this use is 1,500 square feet. The lot has only 1,036 square feet and therefore did not meet this particular requirement for conversion. The variance of that requirement is therefore in the bill. However, the zoning code also requires that there be, for each one-bedroom dwelling unit created, 750 square feet of floor area, and the existing structure has approximately 700 square feet of floor area on each level. Therefore, the Planning Commission is recommending this additional variance of the floor area requirement. Subject to that, the Planning Commission is recommending approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so I see here that the Harlem Park Neighborhood Council, Lafayette Square, and the other associations have been notified.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
BMZA,
BMZA stands by its report as favorable.
DOT,
Mr. Chair, DOT stands by its report as no objection.
Law Department.
Law Department stands by its report as favorable, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. HCD,
DHCD stands by our report in favor and in support of planning's amendment.
BDC,
Mr. Chair, BDC stands by its report. We have no objection.
Parking Authority of Baltimore City.
The Parking Authority does not oppose the passage of the bill.
Thank you. The Fire Department has no objection. Do you have any public testimony on this? It's okay. There is no public testimony, so and there's no questions or comments from my colleagues. Do I have a motion to move the finding of facts? So moved. Moved by Councilwoman Sneed. Who's second? Second. Second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor of the finding of facts say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The finding of facts is passed. Now we're going into the amendments. Do I have a motion to move the amendments?
So moved.
Moved by Sneed. Do I have a second?
Clark.
Second by Clark. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendment's passed. Do I have a motion to move the bill favorable as amended?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Sneed, second by Clark. Take a vote. As amended, Reisinger votes yes. Sneed?
Yes.
Sneed's yes. Clark?
Yes.
Clark's yes. Costello?
Yes.
Costello is yes. Dorsey is absent. Middleton is absent. She's out sick. Pinkett?
Yes.
Pinkett's yes. Stokes?
Yes.
Stokes is yes. We have 6 yes with 2 absent. The bill passes and will come out on November the 18th. This concludes City Council Bill 19-0415. Okay, what's the next one? That's right, you got it all. Okay, good job. The next bill is City Council Bill 19-0418. Yes. Bill number 19-0418, the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to two dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 1047 North Caroline Street, Block 1191, Lot 018, as outlined in the red on the accompanying plat, and granting a variance from certain off-street parking regulations. The public notice requirements have been met, and the sponsor of the legislation, Councilman Stokes, you have anything you want to say?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just, this is a conversion of a two-dwelling unit in a R8, a single dwelling to a two-dwelling unit. I just wanted to mention that the developer on it is Rebuild Metro, and they have done some great things over in the 12th District. We just did a ribbon cut of 52-unit apartment building on Greenmount and Chase Street. So they're doing some great things over in Oliver, too. So I truly support the conversion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. We'll now go on to the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. At its regular meeting on September 12th of this year, the Planning Commission considered City Council Bill 19-0418 to permit the use of this property as two dwelling units. The Planning Commission reviewed a staff report which recommended approval of this bill, also heard additional public testimony in favor of this bill, and therefore resolved to recommend approval of the bill. The Planning Commission determined that the proposed use would not be detrimental to or endanger public health, safety, or welfare. It would not be precluded by any other law, including an applicable urban renewal plan. It would not be contrary to the public interest. It would be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the zoning code, and it meets all criteria for approval as specified in Section 5-406B of the Zoning Code of Baltimore City. The bill includes a variance for off-street parking, which is a variance that basically is required because there is no alley behind this property. And as you can see from the picture, there is no possibility of providing any parking in a side yard, as the building is within a few feet of its lot lines on each side. Therefore, the Planning Commission is recommending approval of this bill. The Planning Commission made note that this is a very large building also, and its use as two dwelling units is going to create two rather generous dwelling units in terms of floor area.
Everyone's,
Thank you.
the community's been notified?
And
all
the
that?
communities were notified and are supportive.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions for my colleagues? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Favorable from Planning, BMZA,
BMZA stands by its report as favorable.
DOT,
DOT stands by its report as no objection.
Law Department,
Law Department approves the bill for form and legal sufficiency.
thank you. HCD,
DHCD stands by our report and support.
BDC,
BDC stands by its report and no objection.
thank you. Parking Authority,
PABC does not oppose the passage of the bill.
and Fire Department has no objection. Have any testimony from the public?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, no public testimony, so what I need is a motion to move the finding of facts.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Sneed, second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor of the finding of facts say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the finding of facts pass. There's no amendments to this bill, so do I have a motion to move
So
the
moved.
bill?
So move.
Second. Stokes.
Moved by Stokes, and who's second?
Clark.
Clark? Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Time to vote. Reisinger votes yes. Sneed?
Yes.
Sneed is yes. Clark?
Yes.
Clark is yes. Costello?
Yes.
Costello is yes. Dorsey is absent. Middleton is absent. She called in ill. Pinkett?
Yes.
Pinkett, yes. Councilman Stokes?
Yes.
Stokes is yes. We have 6 yes with 2 absent. Bill passes, will come out November the 18th. Now we will go to the third bill, which is City Council Bill 19-0419. The purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 3 dwelling units in the R7 zoning district on the property known as 2310 Utah Place, which is Block 3424, Lot 026, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, and granting a variance from certain bulk regulations, which is the lot area. Public notice requirements have been met, and I call on Councilman Pinkett. Do you have anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a pretty straightforward rezoning from single-family to 3 dwelling unit. This conversion is not only consistent with the properties in the community, other properties in the community, also consistent with the historical use of the property. We do have a letter of support from the Reservoir Hill Improvement Council that I'd like to read into the record, dated July 24th, 2019, to whom it may concern. The Reservoir Hill Improvement Council has no objection to Mr. Elliott Pratt's request to rezone the property at 2310 Utah Place from single family to multifamily. Our understanding is that the property was originally zoned for multifamily, and it has been used continuously as a multifamily dwelling for many years, despite the recent rezoning to single family at the request of Mr. Pratt's brother, who is now deceased. We feel the multifamily zoning is the most appropriate zoning for the property. Please contact me if you need additional information. Sincerely, Don Atkin, co-chair of the Reservoir Hill Improvement Council.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. Any questions or comments? No? Mr. French?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. At its regular meeting on September 12th of this year, the Planning Commission considered City Council Bill 19-0419 to permit the use of this property as 3 dwelling units. The Planning Commission heard testimony in favor of the bill from its staff and from members of the public and from the owner of the property. The Planning Commission made findings specifically that the proposed use would not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or welfare. The use would not be precluded by any other law, including an applicable urban renewal plan. The use would not be contrary to the public interest. The use would be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the zoning code, and the use would meet all criteria for approval specified in Section 5-406B of the Zoning Code of Baltimore City. The Planning Commission also noted that the variance that is included in the bill is technically not required because of the fact that the calculation of the lot area requirement for 3 dwelling units allows the 3rd dwelling unit if at least half of the lot area required for a dwelling unit is provided. So in this situation, the original calculation, which was presumably done in a hurry, was there was a need for 3,300 square feet of lot area. In fact, the requirement is considerably less than that, and I'm looking for the exact number so I can quote it.
That's the amendment.
For the record. So the amendment basically that's being suggested, although it's obviously not required, is that this particular variance be deleted from the bill and from the title of the bill.
Okay,
There's no
I got
particular
it.
need for that.
Any questions? Councilwoman Clark, use the microphone, please.
I have a math question. When I was reading this, I couldn't figure it out. It's what you just said. That when you, okay, so you have, this is about lot area, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
So you have a lot, it's been a single-family dwelling. It's going to 3 dwelling units. The lot area does not, all right, excuse me. So what I wrote down when I was trying to figure it out was I have 3,300 square feet for 3 units. Or, wait a minute. 1,100 square feet of lot per dwelling unit, so that's 3,300. And then it's required a lot area of 27 50 square feet. And all I couldn't figure out was what is this third lot allowed? I mean, basically, I see the size of this house. It looks like it can handle 3 dwelling units. That's not my problem. I don't understand the math, and I might have to deal with it, or we might have to deal with that math henceforth sometime.
Well, there is a provision in the zoning code. It's subsection 15-302. And it states, on a lot with 3 or more dwelling units, a fraction of the total area that is 50% or more of the required lot area factor counts as an additional permitted dwelling unit. So in other words, instead of having to have 1,100 square feet of lot area for that third dwelling unit, it's only necessary to have 550 square feet. So the first 2 units at 1,100,
480 square feet.
It's 550, okay, in this particular situation. Right. So, therefore, the zoning code only requires for 3 dwelling units in this property, 2,750 square feet of lot area. The lot actually has over 2,800 square feet, therefore there is no requirement for a variance in order to approve the 3 dwelling units.
I got that one. So
Right.
basically, it's the per unit square footage
Yes,
that gets halved
for the third unit.
for the third unit in a conversion or also in original construction?
In new construction as well, yes.
Oh, I see.
It applies generally to any residential
And what was the
development.
citation on that?
Section 15-302.
Thank you
of the
very
zoning
much.
code.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, so I could figure this out.
Okay. No other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
BMGA,
BMZA stands by its report as favorable.
DOT,
Mr. Chair, DOT stands by its report as no objection.
Law Department,
Mr. Chair, Law Department stands by its report as favorable.
HCD,
DHCD stands by our report in support of planning's amendment.
BDC,
BDC stands by its report.
okay, and we also joined by Matt Stigman from the Mayor's Office.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Parking Authority,
PABC does not oppose the passage of the bill.
and the Fire Department has no objection. Public testimony? Nobody. Okay, do I have a motion to move the finding? Who?
Councilman
Pinkett?
Yes.
I haven't said anything yet.
Oh, so moved, yes.
Yeah.
Second.
Do I have a motion to move the finding of facts? Councilman Pinkett? So I'm doing right now. And the second on the finding of facts is? Clark. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The finding of facts passed. Do I have a motion to move the amendment?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Pinkett. Second by Clark. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendment's passed. Now we'll move the bill favorable as amended. On City Council Bill 19-0419, Vice Singer votes yes. Sneed?
Yes.
Sneed is yes. Clark?
Yes.
Clark is,
Yes.
huh? Yeah. I made a motion. It was who? I made a motion to move the bill amendment just for clarification. Was Pinkett and Clark, right?
Yes.
Okay, Reisinger voted yes, Steve voted yes, Clark voted yes, Costello?
Yes.
Costello is yes, Dorsey is absent, Middleton is absent, Pinkett?
Yes.
Pinkett's yes, Stokes?
Yes.
Stokes is yes. We have 6 yes, the affirmative, 2 absent. The bill passes as amended, will come out November 18th for second reader. This concludes City Council Bill 19-0419. Thank you.